63 degrees right now, and really kind of the perfect weather to take a walk. Can't wait to take a walk with Father Jeff Walker from St. Thomas More University Parish.
Good morning, Father Jeff. As Ron said, can't think of a better day to do it. Wonderful weather and a wonderful opportunity to have a conversation. How are you this morning?
I am just great, and today's another one of those days, just like yesterday. I walked out yesterday for the first time and just said out loud how beautiful this is, you know?
Yeah.
Got to give thanks for these glorious summer days where it's not quite so hot. You know, maybe that's why the Lord let us have a couple weeks of 90 degrees, 95. So we'd appreciate these days even more.
Yeah.
But another beautiful day in Bowling Green. Another beautiful priestly week for me. So last week when we talked, I had just gotten back from our priestly convocation and spent time with the priest of the Diocese of Toledo. This last week has also been very priestly. We had the ordination, of course, of Father Jay Levecki and Father Chris Turner. I was able to go to Father Chris's first Mass as well. But then here in Bowling Green, we had two little mini vocation dinners. So usually we do these big dinners with high school and college men from around the diocese, and the bishop is there, and there's a lot of different priests. And due to some scheduling conflicts, the one in June for the diocese was canceled. So the other pastor in town and I, Father Tom McQuillan, got together and said, we're going to do our own little Bowling Green one. And we had we had one for high school men on Monday and one for college men yesterday, and invited a couple other neighboring priests. And it was very laid back and very friendly. Not that it wasn't going to be friendly, but I mean, it was a chance for these young men to spend time with priests and just to talk with us and to ask us questions. And I think I enjoyed it as much as they did. I enjoyed hearing my brother priest vocation stories. It reminds me of just how unique everyone's call is, and also hearing about other people's priesthood and how different our priesthood is. Even though we're from the same general geographical area, we are priests for the same diocese. Last night we had Father Tom McQuillan there, who spent so much of he spent years in Africa in our mission in Zimbabwe and taught seminary in Africa. We had Monsignor Oxley there last night, who spent many years working for the Holy See in service to the Holy Father in the Congregation for the Doctrine of the Faith. And then little old me, who is in campus ministry, and my life looks so different from Monsignor Oxley's, looks so different from Father McQuillan's. And it just, I don't know, it was inspiring to me. I don't know what the college kids thought of it last night, but inspiring to me how the Lord's church is truly Catholic. And you can see that just in our little Diocese of Toledo as well, in the ways that the Lord calls people and the missions he sends us on. It's been a gift to me, this another priestly week.
Boy, and what a great way to enter into your new role with the vocations to the diocesan priesthood office for the diocese. That's going to be wonderful. And that sounds like some wonderful stories that those men heard. And it's got to attract people, because you can identify with all of our priests in one way or another.
Indeed. And I think there's a lot of people, especially young people, that just see the priest at Sunday Mass and think, well, that's all the priest does. And that's something that I've heard throughout my priesthood over and over again from young people who very innocently say, I don't think I could be a priest. It'd be very boring. All you do is, one kid once told me, all you do is keep the candles lit in church. I want to do something more exciting. And I said, oh, kid, I don't even know who lights the candles over there. You kidding me? So it's nice to be able to share our lives with the faithful in general, but especially with these young men who might be considering the priesthood, because it is quite a diverse kind of life. And it's John Paul II said life with Christ is a great adventure, and you certainly see that in the priesthood. I don't know, the three priests that were there last night, I see that in my friends as well. So it's a gift to be able to share that with young people, and I really do think they find that fascinating. The students this week they had no idea that your priesthood might take you to Zimbabwe, where you're working to help make sure there's food on the table. So you got to go to Botswana to bring food. I mean, that's Father McQuillan's priesthood, priest of the Diocese of Toledo, or that your priesthood might take you to the service of the universal church in the Vatican when you're working so closely with the Holy Father to take care of the church around the world. And that's the priesthood of a priest of the Diocese of Toledo. That it really sort of, again, in light of the convocation last week, the new ordinations, yeah, I do think it was a bit inspiring. Part of vocations work, I think, is just sharing what is the vocation like. You see that with marriage. We don't have to have a marriage vocation director because we know we see our parents. Those are the vocation directors for marriage. So great opportunity to have that for the priesthood this week.
I'm in my 6th year in the Diocese of Toledo, Father, and I've said from the beginning, this is a unique diocese. It's beautiful. The priests are fabulous, singularly fabulous compared to all the dioceses I've been a part of. And now we're getting that recognition. Graceful Living is given some awards because of stories that they have written, and then also our own Bishop Thomas now wins the second place for the best Facebook page in the entire nation. So we're getting that recognition, and I'm kind of sorry to see it because I don't want to see a bunch of people moving here or anything. And we already see Bishop-elect Dennis Walsh. I don't need a Bishop-elect Jeff Walker, and I don't need all the priests going to other places.
Right. But it is, I think it is not comforting, but motivating to see the good things happening around the diocese. And not to turn this into a commercial for Annunciation Radio, but I remember when Annunciation Radio began and what a gift that was for me to be able to know what was going on in other parts of the diocese. I loved listening to it just because there were churches I had never been to that I was hearing about, and people that I had never heard of that I was hearing from. And, that was sort of my beginning of getting to know the Diocese of Toledo. And, I'll give Bishop Thomas an award for his Facebook feed as well, because that was another thing. As soon as he got here, as he shared his pictures and his experiences around the diocese, you really got to see, well, what does a bishop do every day? He does more than just confirmations and ordinations, it turns out.
Mm-hmm. Well, pretty cool. That was a wonderful brisk walk.
This morning, gentlemen.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, and we never mind if you do a advertisement for us. We're never going to complain about that.
I'll send you a bill. No worries.
Yeah. Thank you,
Father. Thank you, Father Jeff.
Have a great weekend. We'll be right back here on Morning Offering.